While sitting in Toronto, you became the founder engineer for a Silicon Valley startup.
When I first applied, I didn't get any response from them.
Okay.
But I was so dedicated to talk to this person, because I knew if I talk to him, I'll sell myself. Keep applying. Time it's not numbers game, it's
Quality game. Yeah.
Sit and apply. You are probably applying to so many places.
Right. भाई मेरे को नहीं आता करना या I'm too shy, मैं क्या जाके बात करूँ, मैंने खुद ही नहीं समझा.
Just do it.
Don't think too much, बस कर्म करते रहो वाली बात है.
Exactly. Shopify gives you a challenge to solve, right? If your resume gets selected,
right?
I went above and beyond and did a lot better than what they asked for.
Amazing.
And I think that really helped me. So they're specifically looking for someone who can work for cheap. So I enrolled myself into that application, and then I started searching for clients who are looking for students who can develop platforms for them.
Amazing. What if I tell you can work for a US based company, earn in US dollars while sitting in Canada? Sounds amazing, right? Well, that is exactly what we will be talking about in today's episode of Desi Chit-Chat. How did a fresh graduate from University of Windsor ended up working in the Silicon Valley? Is the AI industry worth pursuing? And how do you become a software engineer just by networking? If you are someone who aspires to get into the IT industry, sit back, relax, and watch me have a Desi Chit-Chat with Aman Patel. Yeah. I would love to talk more about this. I know 9 to 5, you're a software developer in the AI world.
Yeah.
But who are you 5 to 9? Tell me more about this. Who is Aman?
5 to 9, I'm pretty sure you already know this. I work on my own startup as well. It's called Eztrackr. And, I am a co-founder of Eztrackr along with, two of my other co-founders, Hardik and Harshdeep.
Yeah.
So 5 to 9, mostly grinding, trying to learn something new. Probably I'll be coding on new feature. Trying to see if there's any bug that I can solve, or learn marketing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Marketing. Is it because you've been too much into tech and now it's about time where you have to also promote your company?
That is exactly why.
Okay.
So I think Eztrackr is at a point where we have built so many features, and organically we are getting so many new customers. But the thing
talk more about what is this product and what is their audience?
Eztrackr is a product for job seekers, and it initially started as a job organization tool for them. So it's a Kanban board, something like Trello, but in just one single click, you can upload everything related to your job. Let's say you're on LinkedIn,
right.
You get a Chrome extension from Eztrackr. It parses your website, and basically once you apply, you click on Eztrackr, save to Eztrackr. It saves everything into your board. So
nice.
You don't have to build an Excel sheet or just save things in your folder.
Yeah.
So it just keeps things organized for you. And me personally and Harshdeep, we are someone who likes things organized. And I used to have a folder structure before
right.
Eztrackr,
right.
Where I would put, okay, this is the resume that I used for Shopify, and this is this cover letter that I used, and
right.
Here is some of
tracking your whole journey. So it started as of to help yourself with your job hunt, and now you felt like, damn, bhai, ye to sabke liye use hokta hai. All the job seekers need to track their job well, and I think it can be a great product for them as well.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Fantastic.
But then on top of it, we then realized there are other needs for job seekers, right? For example, they spend a lot of time building resumes. So we are launching something called Resume Builder very soon. It's actually out for beta testing. There are some users who are using it.
Nice.
And then cover letter is something that they find very tedious. So we have AI cover letter generator for them.
Right.
And then just building LinkedIn profile is really helpful. LinkedIn headline, LinkedIn about me generators. So everything is offered by Eztrackr.
Lovely.
Also there is skill percentage match. For example, you are on Glassdoor, and you open a job job profile, and you want to see how good you match with it. Eztrackr calculates that for you based on your resume that you uploaded on Eztrackr. So it just makes things way more easier, makes you feel more confident. It also shows you what are skills that this job requires and that isn't on your resume, and you can quickly go and tweak your resume and see if you can boost your scores. So it just makes things easier for you.
Love this, man. Like even 5 to 9, I think you're still working. Well, okay, do you find yourself like, very nerdy towards these things? Like, do these things excite you? Like AI, how the world works, building something for your own, like home projects?
Yeah, definitely. I think me being, or, that's one of the main reason why I, got into computer science. I did bachelor's in computer science just because I love building products.
In Canada?
In Canada, yes.
Okay.
And, I think programming is a really good tool, if you want to build something out of it, and which is meaningful, which can be scaled, extremely high.
Right.
And that's why I did computer science. So problem solving is something that I really love, and building real products is always something that I aim for.
Before you even did your bachelor's, I think you were already passionate about computer science and how the world is going. And even in your college degree, you did artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Talk more about this. How was the experience? Like, I don't know many people who've done artificial intelligence degree from a college. How was that?
So I haven't done artificial intelligence degree in general. I took some courses because so back when I was in university, I did research with a professor. His name is Dr. Kopti. He helped me, become familiar with AI. So he really talked a lot about AI, and he had a course called Introduction to Machine Learning that he taught, where he forced me to take it because in my part of AI or research was to do things with AI, and he said, if you enroll in this program, then it will be really helpful for you. So that's how I started learning more AI stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, he also suggested few courses online. I can recommend one book. It's called Deep Learning.
Deeplearning.com.
Yeah. It's a book from Stanford, someone from Stanford, and it's really good. It goes deep into mathematics and then starts teaching you about algorithms and neural networks. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, that's how I got into this.
Sick, man. So it was not just the degree; it was the people who had to do with AI, like Dr. Kupti you mentioned, and just your passion towards computer science, led you towards AI, and of course AI being the next big thing. It is already a big thing, right?
Yeah.
You're moving towards that.
Definitely.
And I believe that's what's driving you towards this industry. अभी क्या हो रहा है? I think there's still a lot of students जो अभी उस dilemma में है कि यार AI, is it a friend or is it an enemy? As a software developer, like talking about front end, let's just talk about front end, right?
Yeah.
There's so many AI, websites and generators that completely build a website for you.
Yep.
Sara, front end, back end, the whole process, right?
Yeah.
Should people be concerned? There's a lot of people who are scared कि यार अब करना भी चाहिए software development. Should we get into computer science or not? What's your take on this?
Yeah. I know there's a huge discussion on this.
Yeah.
Everyone is so scared. My perspective on this is consider AI as your friend, not an enemy. And I'm sure you must have heard this so many times.
Yeah.
AI is here to boost yourself. It's just an augmentation tool for your abilities, right? So if something that you did in 5 hours earlier, you can do that in 2 hours or an hour now, right? So you can get more things done with it. Specifically talking about front end, I think it's AI is doing a really good job, building boilerplates for you.
Tell me more. What is this?
I mean, it's not there yet. You can't completely trust AI to build a software. Front end is fine, but then there is backend component to it. There is security component to it, right? So it's still not there yet. I mean, maybe in 2 years or 3 years from now, maybe it will be there.
Yeah.
But if I were to suggest, a student who is scared about this, I would say, you should start learning AI. Get yourself more familiarized with AI, not just using component of it. Also how to build AI. You being a computer science student, stop learning about web development. AI can do that. Maybe start learning how to build an AI yourself, right? AI can take some jobs, but then it can also introduce more jobs for you.
Definitely.
Right? So maybe try learning those stuff. Don't if you keep learning web development, you will outdate yourself, and at some point, you'll not get any jobs.
200%. I was actually reading about this survey where it said, and it was from the World Economics Forum.
Yeah.
They released AI is going to take 85 million jobs. However, it's also going to produce 97 million jobs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is crazy. So it's actually in the surplus, right?
Yeah.
We're on the surplus. And I know you mentioned about some resources that a student should opt in for. Talk about these resources. Let's say if someone has 3 to 6 months, they're about to graduate. कौन से ऐसे certificates या courses, या maybe, what should they do so that they're ready for the world, ready to apply for full-time jobs?
Yeah. I would say get the skills that you need first, right? If I were to suggest some courses, there's Andrew Ng. He's really popular in AI domain.
Okay.
He has his free courses on Coursera. Start learning that. That's a very good start. He has some beginner level courses as well. And then read some blog post. Deep learning book that I suggested is a really good one. I would say go more deeper into neural networks. Deep learning and neural network is what build ChatGPT, and it seems like that's where the world is going towards. So you should probably try and learn something of that sort. Also doing some networking. Go to hackathons. A lot of hackathons are geared towards AI. Don't think that I don't know anything, what would I do over there?
Right.
Hackathon is a great place to meet someone who is better than you, who knows things much more wider than you. So seek it as an opportunity to make friends with them. They would teach you something that no one else can. You would know something, you would know some courses out of it, right? That's how I did it, right? So do some networking, go to hackathon events, go to meetups, right? There are specifically in Toronto, I see there are so many AI meetups going
I know you've been emphasizing a lot on networking.
Yeah.
बहुत लोग ना बहुत वो होते हैं कि एज यू सेड राइट भाई मेरे को नहीं आता करना या आई एम टू शाय मैं क्या जाके बात करूं मैंने खुद ही नहीं समझा अभी like what would you suggest them and where do you find these meetups happening and how are the people there, like are they chill, are they open to talking?
They're very open to talking. So first of all, I think there are two questions. The first one is where do you find it?
Exactly,
right? You find this on meetup.com. There is Eventbrite is not geared towards just technology and this type of meetups. But then there's a really good platform called I'm forgetting the name. Luma, lu.ma, and it's a really good place for you to find some really good events like this.
If I'm not wrong, Luma is specifically targeting tech events.
Not just tech events. There are many others, but majorly most popular events over there are tech events.
Okay.
Yes. So that's where I find most of my events and I visit them.
Nice. So, अगर किसी को भी who's in college, you would say, or graduated, trying to get into the tech industry, trying to get into specifically into software development, you would highly recommend get some good courses through Coursera, edX, ClassCenter.com, all these free platforms which are offering free certificates and courses. And also you emphasized big on networking events, right? Find out networking events through Eventbrite, through Luma and meetup.com, you said.
Yes.
How do you usually approach these people, right? Someone, let's say, मेरे को नहीं आता ज़्यादा, and if I had to approach you, like, what would be the strategy to approach these people?
I mean, I would just, learn how to do some small talks, right? Just go on YouTube, just search randomly, how do I do small talks in an event like this? You'll get a few questions that you can just ask them, just introduce yourself, be very natural, tell them that I don't know anything, my main purpose of visiting this event is to learn something, to network. And, they have been there, someone who is coming to network, they were once in your shoes, they know how it feels and they'll be more than happy to teach you. Right. So that's, I just randomly, reach out to someone, start with a hi, introduce yourself and, just let the communication flow and listen more than talking, let them talk, ask questions, bring some really good questions for them. And then, just go with the flow.
Don't be shy, just say hi. Right. That's the name of the game. I love that. Exactly, man. I know you did a lot of networking. You got some courses as well. Of course, you did your degree as well. How much do you think ये जो courses हमने किए, ये जो networking हमने करी, got you your first gig? While you were in college, you got to work with Shopify. How did you approach them? How did you get that internship with Shopify, such a huge, big, growing company?
So that was part of networking and then part of my prior experiences as well. So both of that, in together helped me.
You were still in college. What's the prior experience you were talking?
I was in a co-op program, right? So
nice.
Before Shopify was actually my last internship. Before that, my first internship was at Nokia. My second two were at a startup called FullScript. It's in Ottawa as well.
Nice. Nokia is also in Ottawa.
Nokia is also in Ottawa. So I have lived
Shopify
in Ottawa.
Shopify is also in Ottawa.
Yes. But it was remote by then. So I was still working from Toronto. But yeah, I think the biggest helper for me getting a job at Shopify was my second internship, which was at FullScript. So I was very strategic about this. Shopify has always been my dream company. And I was rejected from Shopify twice. And it was the third attempt when I got in. FullScript shares a very similar tech stack as Shopify. So FullScript is also a Ruby on Rails shop. They use GraphQL, they use React. So I was very happy when I got into FullScript because I know once I have FullScript and these all skills on my resume, Shopify would be an easy sell for me, right? And that happened. That exactly happened.
Despite of 2 rejections from the same company, you were still motivated to apply the third time, and you got in. There's a lot of people when they get rejected, they're like, yaar, bas yaar, nahi ho raha, वापस चले जाता हूँ. What would you have to say to them?
I mean, it doesn't harm to try, right? I mean, you don't have to pay for applying, right? So, just do it, I mean, and I said it was my dream company. I know there's a friend of mine, Eric Pickup. He's a senior of mine, and he teaches me a lot of stuff. And he did an internship at Shopify, and he shared a lot of good story about it. So I'm like, okay, I really see myself going there, learning from the best, right? So why should I keep myself short? And that's why I was like, okay, it doesn't harm to apply, And when you sit and apply, you are probably applying to so many places.
Right.
So, Shopify is just one addition to it, just do it.
Don't think too much. Just, karam karte raho wali baat hai.
Exactly. And I know, like I have seen your videos as well, MPM specifically, you guys preach, keep applying, with applying, you have to also make sure, quality is a factor in it. It's not, I know I have heard you say this a lot of time. It's not numbers game. It's the quality
game. Yeah. Quantity of the quality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yes, with Shopify, the third attempt when I did it, I had gained a good amount of experience in it. Along with experiences, Shopify gives you a challenge to solve, right? If your resume gets selected,
right?
I went above and beyond and did a lot better than what they asked for.
Amazing.
And I think that really helped me.
Yeah.
Also, I was able to get someone refer me at Shopify as well.
Nice. How did you do that? Like, was it a LinkedIn approach?
Yeah, and actually not a LinkedIn approach. I worked at FullScript, as I said.
Right.
And someone from FullScript moved to Shopify.
Nice.
And I very closely worked with him. His name is Rami. I'm very grateful for him. I guess he knew somehow that I'm a really good programmer.
Nice.
And he was happy to refer me at Shopify.
Yeah.
Referring at Shopify gives you an initial foot into interviewing process. So the first step is solving that challenge. So you have to build, a website. So I specifically interviewed for a backend developer position.
Awesome.
So I had to build an API which can support that front end.
Wow.
Right. But then I went ahead and built everything, like front end, back end, everything. And I knew exactly what to use. They use GraphQL. So I used GraphQL, React in front end.
Yeah.
And back end was Ruby on Rails.
How did you find out that that's what they were looking for?
From Eric Pickup. So it all boils down to networking, meeting people who can tell you stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, randomly searching on internet might not give you that much information, but if you closely talk with someone who has been there, they'll give you all the information that you need. Yeah.
Amazing, man. That's been that very wholesome journey from one internship to another to finally getting into your dream company. And I know you converted that internship into a full-time job as well.
Exactly.
But I want to go back in time, right?
Yeah.
Did you come in with a co-op program in the college?
Yes.
I've heard this and I regret till date, even though it's been 3 years I've graduated. I wish I came in with a co-op program.
Yeah.
I feel so stupid कि भाई मैं ये नहीं लेके आया program. Would you agree that it is almost stupid moving away from home, coming to North America without a co-op program? Do you think that's stupid?
100%. I mean, I'm not calling you stupid, but
no, I'm calling myself stupid because it's a big opportunity. Think about this, right? I know so many people, when they graduated, they already have 2 years of experience. भाई 4 साल की degree, 2 साल का experience already आ गया आपके पास.
Yeah.
7 कोई अलग आपने वो नहीं किया. Of course you worked hard, you worked your ass off, right? But still, that's so smart.
Yeah.
Like, so would you agree कि भाई coming without a co-op is stupid?
It is a stupid move. It's a riskier move. So come without a co-op if you already have experience in India, right? But if you are a fresher who have no experience in India, co-op is a must. I always, tell anyone who calls me and asks me, hey, what program should I take? Like, take something which has co-op in it.
Yeah.
Like, just don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
और अगर आप आ भी गए यहाँ पे, then make sure to convert that into a co-op. A lot of colleges and universities offer that you can convert that into a co-op. Yeah. And that has really helped you get 3 positions from Nokia to FullScript to Shopify. All big companies, growing companies like crazy.
Yeah.
And now you finally converted that into a full-time. You worked with Shopify for like another year or 2?
2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? Let's address the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
You did all this experience throughout your college, and now you were on your work permit. While sitting in Toronto, you got a full-time opportunity in the United States.
Yep.
That too in California. That too in the Silicon Valley, and that too in Palo Alto, the heart of Silicon Valley. How did you do that?
Wow. Okay. It's a long story behind it. So while working at Shopify, so I, even before that, while working at FullScript, I'm someone who always likes to keep myself busy after 9 to 5. So, when I'll start with Shopify, when I was working full time at Shopify, I was looking for, something more to do, right? I felt that I'm not growing as fast as I could. I have so much time left for myself. How can I learn something more? And I was talking to a friend of mine, and she introduced me to Pangea.
Okay.
Pangea.app is a freelancing tool for students or new graduates,
Okay.
right? So I enrolled myself into that, application, and then I started searching for clients who are looking for, students who can develop platforms for them.
Amazing.
That's where I got introduced to.
So it is a portal where you can find companies looking forward to early career talent.
Exactly. Because there are early stage startups who do not have so much money to fund.
Just like wellfound.com?
Wellfound is still pretty huge.
Okay.
You will find some really big companies like
100%.
GitHub over there.
Yeah.
They have huge money and money to fund, right?
Right.
But this one specifically are, someone who is either bootstrapped or someone who has less money, who is probably using their own money.
Just started.
Right. So they're specifically looking for someone who can work for cheaper, right? So that's where I got introduced to, Honey Health. So the startup that I work for, it's called Honey Health.
In Silicon Valley.
And when I first applied, I didn't get any response from them.
Okay.
But I was so dedicated to talk to this person, because I knew if I talk to him, I'll sell myself.
Nice.
So I went to his LinkedIn. I searched him on LinkedIn. So the CEO, his name is Matt Futzman. And I'm messaging him on LinkedIn, just cold messaging.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I applied to this position. I found it on Pangea, but I haven't gotten any response from you. Are you still looking?
That was the exact message that you sent. Your cold message.
Yes.
Okay.
And 2 days after, he's like, yes, we are still looking. And since I applied from LinkedIn, my LinkedIn was really good. I had Shopify and everything on it. So he was very interested in giving me a chance.
Yeah.
And he set up a meeting with me, the next week. And the CTO was also in that call.
Amazing.
And they took my coding interview. And I was able to solve the questions, very well. And that's how I got in.
While sitting in Toronto, you became the founder engineer for a Silicon Valley startup.
Oh, that is, I'm still not there yet. So founding engineer was still a year away. So I started as a contractor, a freelancing gig. So I work 9 to 5 at Shopify, and then work for the startup after my Shopify work. They saw my work for a year. They got their pre-seed funding. So now they have money to hire someone.
Nice.
And the first person that came to their mind was me. And that's how I became a founding engineer at that company.
Like on a payroll with a salary.
Yes, exactly.
And as compared to Toronto, right? Like as compared to a software engineer here, how's the pay? Like what's the range if you had, again, not the exact, but if you had to give a range?
Yeah, I would say it's somewhere about 150 to 180K. Over here.
Wow, man. Living in Toronto,
Yeah.
or Mississauga, right?
Mississauga.
To be more specific.
Yeah.
Working for a Californian company, like startup, making that sort of money. How do you feel, bro?
I feel like I can make more.
Love that.
But I would say this is still at a lower range considering California.
Yeah.
There people get paid way more in California. But I feel like there are other factors like economy as well. Plus, it's a very small startup, pre-seed.
Yeah.
So you can't negotiate that much with them. And another goal of mine was to learn. Not just money is not the only factor.
Right.
That's why I'm fine with this sort of money.
Yeah.
It's still better pay for Toronto. But yeah.
And you don't have to be a PR to reach out and do all those things. You were still on a work permit. I think you got your PR now.
Yeah, it's still in process. I'm still 5 months in. Yes, for sure. But yes, I think PR is not a hindrance because there are companies which is called employer of record, EORs. It's similar to merchants of record, right? Where if you're selling some product internationally, you need someone who acts as on paper merchant, so that it takes care of your taxation and other regulation stuff.
Right.
Similar to that, there's a company called Terminal, which act as my employer on record. So on record, Terminal is the one which is paying me. Terminal,
and that's Canadian?
That's Canadian.
Oh,
entity.
Nice.
So startups who do not have entities in Canada or any other place in the world,
right,
and who do not have money, because I guess creating an entity, cost you money.
Right.
They don't want to do that, right? But they still want to hire a remote engineer because probably they'll pay me less than paying someone in United States.
Yeah.
They can use platforms like Terminal. There's another one called Oyster Inc. or something. So I'm like I'm still working for a Canadian company, but I'm providing my services to Honey Health.
Fuck, bro. This is such a great combo.
Yeah.
You're sitting Saga. Technically, you're enrolled and on a payroll with a Canadian company that helps you with your PR.
Yeah.
But you're eventually working for a company in California and the Silicon Valley, making good 150 to 180K as a software engineer.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's like the best of all worlds, man.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And if people want to do it, if students right now who are graduating in like maybe another year, if you had to give a step-by-step, process on if they want to do the same sort of thing, like what would you recommend? Where should they start?
I would say, learn some skills, right? So don't just stick to your courses and hope that you will get.
If you had to give top 3 skills, what would that be?
I would say start learning AI at this point. It's high time. Everyone needs someone who
something specific in AI.
AI is really wide,
Yeah.
but if I were to suggest something, I would say deep learning is something that you should go forward with. And then networking is something that you should and you must do. So first, take the skills that you have. Go network. Understand what other skills that you need in order to excel in this industry, and then build some projects. Right. So when you network with someone, you might find someone who is probably ahead of you, is better than you, and who is already working on some project of some sort.
Right.
Just ask him, can I join you? I want to learn something. Can I build this product with you? I'll help you do it, and I'll learn something. Right. Or if you have an idea of your own, something that you think is very, amazing, just build it so that you can at least have something on your resume when you go and start applying. Right.
How important is it to have your GitHub repository, like the whole dashboard, to be hyperlinked on your resume? Would you say that as important as it is to have a good solid resume, it is equally important to have a good solid GitHub?
It is. I mean, for a software developer, I interview people, I see a lot of resume when I interview them. If there is no GitHub on it, I am not interviewing that person.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing that I need in order to understand how well that person is.
If someone does not have GitHub on their resume, it's a straight rejection for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, how can I assess his coding abilities? I need to see some sort of snippet, to understand how his abilities are, right?
Now that you're talking about interview, let's dig deeper into this. Now, let's say you're interviewing a upcoming software engineer, right? He graduated out of college. He's interviewing with you, with your growing company.
Yeah.
What are the 3 major skills that you look for?
It depends on the position that you're hiring for, right? So it's a very wide.
Let's say a software engineer.
Even for a software engineer, are you looking for a backend or a front end, right? So
let's say backend.
Right. So for backend, I would say, if my company and my product is working on, let's say AWS, Python, I would look for someone who have those skills in it, right?
Yeah.
And then, let's say it also depends on whether I'm looking for a senior engineer or, just a new grad.
Just a new grad.
Just a new grad. I wouldn't worry too much about, how much year of experience does he have. What I would look for is, have they done something more outside of their curriculum, right? Do they have projects on their belt, right? Have they went to any hackathons, right? Those are things which really stands out. So I would look for that. Have they been into competitions? Back in university, I went to a competition called CS Hack or something.
Okay.
So they bring you to Montreal. There are so many schools. You participate in it and you compete with each other. So have you done something outside of school?
Outside of work.
If they have something on their resume like this, it's a really good win.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's flip the coin now.
Yeah.
Right? You're interviewing with them. I know you said a big red flag is if they do not have GitHub on their resume, that's a straight rejection. Let's say they have it on your resume, right? Now you've gotten on an interview with them. What would you say is one of the biggest red flags that you would see and be like, reject?
Yeah, that's a great one because, I have been doing it last month as well. And, one thing that comes to my mind and what I really look for is, can they explain everything or most of the thing that they have on their resume? A lot of people lie on their resume. I feel like, some sort of lie is fine, but make sure you can explain it.
Okay.
If you can't explain it, we would know like exactly that you lied on your resume.
Right.
So try to restrict yourself from that. So specifically talking about software engineering, you go through a technical round.
Yeah.
If you can't code, if your code isn't great, if it's not working, that would be a red flag for me. So the way you started, right? I mean, I would expect you to have some sort of documentation to it, right? So don't.
Agar, let's say they have a good logic,
Yeah.
right, but not a functional code, would you still consider them?
That is still fine.
Okay.
That is still fine. But along with this, a good way to start is to explain your thought process. So while you code, it's very important to explain your thought process, so we know where you're going. And there's a lot of pressure in an interview. So and as an interviewer, they will understand. As long as you communicate that well to them, right?
I have a friend who got into Meta right now as a data scientist.
Yeah.
Big money, right? Like
Yeah.
he's got in, and he gave me this very good approach to answer like lead code, coding questions, technical interview.
Yeah.
He said, when you start, right,
Yeah.
don't just start coding. Pehle write the whole flow.
Yeah.
And always when you're writing it, make sure कि आप बोल बोल के लिखो.
Exactly.
Right? And then once you're done, when you get those validation, right, like little nudges and everything, and then you say, once you've had that flow, you say that this is what I'm thinking, Aman. Is this a right approach?
Yeah.
And when they say, and then they actually give you the answer.
Yeah.
Or या फिर या कुछ tweak up वो दे देते हैं, and then you're like, all right, found my answer, and then you do it.
Definitely.
Would you say that's one of the best approaches to answer that technical interview?
100%. And in fact, that's how I start. So I wouldn't write it on a notebook. I would still write it. So I'll open my editor. I'll comment it, and then I'll start writing.
Like a pseudocode.
Like a pseudocode. I'll write a pseudocode first so that they know what my thought process is. And as you said, like that's the best place for us to get a validation that am I going in the right direction or not, right? So yes, I think 100% that's the best way and the only way to start.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Aman, there's so many people who want to be where you are at right now, but they're struggling, right?
Mhm.
As software engineers sitting in Canada, want to work for a US-based company. I'm glad you busted that myth कि आपको PR नहीं चाहिए ये करने के लिए.
Mhm.
You can still work for a US company while sitting in Canada. There's definitely a lot of tie-ups and you give us great resources.
Yeah.
But quite a lot of people are struggling right now,
Mhm.
right? हमारे जैसे immigrants who came away from home. If you had to give them one piece of advice, while they're struggling to land their first full-time job, what would that be?
Okay. I would say have an end goal, right? Have a 5-year picture in your mind that, okay, this is where I want to be in 5 years. But then don't get scared because, it's 5 years is a long time. Start small. You have to make some smaller goals for yourself. And not just goals, but, even, understand the process of doing it. Every single day, start small, be persistent. You won't get the result the next day, of course. But you have to keep doing it. If wake up in the morning, try and make some plans. I want to achieve this small thing, today. I want to learn and get this skill today. I want to start this course. Watch just at least an hour of it. Learn something out of it. A month from now, a year from now, you will be in a much better position. So start small is something that I'll say.
How early should they start? Like before graduation?
I think start as soon as you're in your first year. Don't wait. I always tell my friends, right? Like when you are graduating, you should already have a full-time job on your hand. Don't start after you are graduated.
Awesome. And all these job seekers that are finding jobs, Aman, where can they find Eztrackr?
Eztrackr is on a platform. You can go to www.eztrackr.app. That's where you can find it.
Awesome. And that's going to help them find and track their jobs better.
Yes.
Aman Patel, thank you so much. This has been very helpful and it's going to help so many immigrants looking for a software engineer jobs. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, man.